computer. Okay, it's recording. And then I want to practice sharing my PowerPoint. Let's see what happens. Share this. Let's see what's okay. So can you, I can't see the chat when I do this. Let me see. Let's see if I do this. Okay. Can you see me and still see this? Although I can't see the chat, so this is like, Elena, I'm gonna unmute you and you can tell me, okay? I'll unmute you for a second. If I can unmute you. There you are, okay. Elena, can you see me? I have you unmuted. Unless you've muted your phone or something.
Yep, here I am. Sorry, I muted myself.
It's okay. I appreciate you did that. Can you see me?
Yes, so you show up on the right side in like a little sidebar, and there's you're like a little box. So yes, we can see you.
Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Can you see my ugly couch? Okay.
Not really.
Okay. All right. Because I want y'all to be able to still see me talking and then still see the slides. And I just want to make sure that it is what I can't shoot. I can't see y'all's questions. And that's what I wanted to be able to do, was be able to see y'all. Okay, optimize for full screen video clip. Chat. I guess it lights up when, let's see. Okay, thank you, Annie. If I can keep the chat down here, I can see y'all. Okay. See, but then I can't like get the, oh, okay. Okay, all right, here we go. I'm making this whole thing happen now. Okay, I can hear somebody. Casey, who knows you? I'm gonna go mute you in a second if you're not already muted. Elena, thank you so much for your help figuring this out. Okay, I'm gonna go mute you. Okay. I'm muting all of you. Sorry. Okay. Craig, is that you I can hear? Ruffling papers, rustling. Okay. Welcome. Hi. For those of you that this is your first webinar, hello, I'm Julie. If we've never met, I know most of you. This is going to end at 10:30 sharp. In fact, I'm going to be watching my camera slowly. I'm going to even put a stopwatch on just so I can watch the time. 30 minutes, there we go. I can watch the countdown. This is being recorded. If y'all have questions, I've got the chat open, so please don't hesitate. You're not interrupting me. If you've ever seen me facilitate, like there's no like stop in for questions. Like I talk and I don't take a breath for 30 minutes. So if y'all have questions, you need to type them in. Okay, that's how this is going to work. So welcome those of you that are joining me for the first time. I'm Julie, I'm an executive coach. What is up? It is Friday. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all are awesome. So we're diving into the 5 things every new leader needs to master their first year. And the reason I'm focusing so much on the first year is because that is like your foundation. This is very critical for your new leaders because this is how they are establishing themselves. You know, people are really getting judged on what you do. And yeah, you've got time to build your reputation and all those nice things, but that first year is very big. You know, what foot are you starting this whole thing on? And that's why I'm focusing so much in these first 12 months. And if you are leading people, you may have, I think, somebody typing, sorry. If you're leading people, you need to know the things that is important for your manager that you are managing that they master in that first year. You probably have forgotten all what it was like to be new. So let's dive in because we have 28 minutes to go. Okay, and for those of you that just joined us, use the text, you know, ask me questions here, ask me questions here. There you go. That's where you ask questions. and let's see how I put it. Great. All right. The very first thing that y'all have got to be able to get your new leaders to be able to do is give feedback. This is number one. The whole presentation could be about this one skill set. Your leaders need to be able to give feedback to their team. So the team that they now inherit, that they're now managing, okay, they're like a plant, okay? And the feedback is the water. You got this plant. You got this plant, it's thriving, it's nice, it's big, but you are the water, and that's, you know what's going to happen if you don't water, it's going to shrivel up. And you can't be like, yeah, but you know, like I was a plant myself once, and it's kind of weird to water myself, you know, so it's kind of weird for me, you know. I'm not really comfortable being the water now, so I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna ease into that part of the caring of the team. Just gonna dabble in that a little bit, and just little droplets here and there. Like, no, it's a team, and this is literally what they need to function and thrive off of. People need feedback. And a big reason why giving feedback is so important as a new leader, because this really positions you as the boss, okay? Because one of the biggest things that differentiates me as your peer, me as just an employee, and me as the boss is that I coach you, and that I can coach you, and that I'm the one that tells you how it's supposed to be done. And if you have been, whether you're promoted from within or you're new to the organization, you are going to get respect. You are going to be seen as the leader because you act like the leader, okay? Thank you. It's because you are the one who is taking control and showing you are the boss, for lack of a worse 80s phrase than that. And one of the main ways you do that is you give feedback to your team. So how the heck do you even start doing this? I suggest a transition meeting to establish context and expectations with a new direct report. So one of the first things you want to do, and this is a great tip if you have a new direct report or a new team, is to have a transition meeting. And you call it that. You're like, hey, we're having a transition meeting. This is a chance for us to review how we communicate, what you can expect from me, what can I expect from you, how I would like our work relationship to unfold, how I can support you, how I'll be coaching you and giving you feedback. So you are the one coming in saying, this is how it's done. Okay, that also makes you really assert yourself as the leader. So within that, you are going to be including that, listen, I really want to develop you, make sure that I'm supporting you in your duties. And so I'm going to be giving you feedback according to your job description. That's the easiest and best way to give feedback to people, because it's less about my opinion of you and if I like you and if you were smiling, but you look at the job description, I'm holding it because obviously it's a piece of paper, right? And you go through and you're like, you could even in your transition meeting, talk about it right then and there and say, help me understand where you feel you are right now on your job description. Give me an idea of where you feel like you're sitting on all one of these items. So I know that if you're excelling in it, that's something you've always been doing, and that's par for the course. Or if you're excelling in it and this is new and you've been working really hard to get to this point, I want to be able to recognize and understand that. When you position feedback in that manner, it comes across less like constructive criticism, which no one likes. Don't call things constructive criticism. Also, it is feedback, okay? It's never criticism. When you are, okay, there we go. When you're talking to your new team as the new leader, this cannot be, I only speak up to correct somebody. There are some people that believe they're the boss because they're correcting and criticizing. And that's not how it works. It's that I'm always giving feedback, which means, you're hitting the mark, you're exceeding it. Think about giving feedback like the dash of your car, okay? So it's not right or wrong. It's telling you how fast you're going. It's not saying it's too fast or too slow. It's just telling you how fast you're going. It's up to the parameters and the circumstances to dictate if it's too fast or too slow. because that's what the freaking speed limit's for, okay? So going 40 might be too slow in some cases. Going 40 might be way too fast in some cases. So this is about really reflecting back upon them what they're doing and giving it context in regards to the job description, because those are the expectations. If you are in a culture where not everybody's giving feedback to their team, do it anyway. You're the boss of your people. You're the one who's in charge of them. You're the leader. This is your team. Assert yourself. This is literally what you need to be there to do. Do it even if this is the first time they're getting feedback in general. This may not be a team that's used to getting feedback. This might be uncomfortable for them. You do it anyway. Why is it so darn important? First off, you want to have a fully functioning, thriving team. That's why I go back to the plant metaphor, because you want this plant to be fully functioning and thriving, and so you need to water it. That's the whole point, for it to be a functioning, thriving team. And watering is the feedback. If you want to have your team performing at its most optimal level, you need to be giving them feedback to get there. But even moreover, and this kind of threads in throughout the whole program today, is people really do well when they feel very heard and very seen. And that's what you're doing when you give them feedback. Do it timely. Y'all, I cannot believe how many people do not get feedback until the performance evaluation. And I know all y'all out there nodding your heads being like, yep, that's happened to me. Yep, I see that. Or yeah, that happens right now. I'm just big emphatic, I know. And, okay, well, if you're hearing this message, then you can do something about it. You know, one person at a time, we can change this. Feedback needs to be given in the real time, as soon as possible. If you wait too long, well, that's how our company does it. You know, okay, great. You can still have a conversation with your team members. Waiting devalues it. It makes something seem way more important than it really is. You know, like you're just talking to them about how they respond to emails. You do it 6 weeks later, they're going to think you've been holding on for 6 weeks about how I respond to an email. Obviously, this has really been bothering you. Or you're waiting 6 weeks to tell me that I should have done it that way. Obviously, it's not that important. So you want to do it in real time, in a timely manner. Go to our next one, number 2. Sorry, there we go. Okay. You need to build rapport with your teams. Rapport is your buy-in. Rapport is like the currency through which you can advocate and make change. When you have rapport, now you're in it with them together, okay? And you have got to build that with them. There might be people that are against you. When I know, I say feel, usually I know if someone doesn't like me. What? People don't like you? Yeah, it happens. For those people, I'm like literally rolling up my sleeves. I'm like, let's dive in. I'm gonna win your ass over. Here we go. You need everybody, because this is the thing. Everybody can have rapport with somebody. Okay. There's no reason why you can't have the rapport with anybody on your team. You need the rapport for so many reasons. Okay. So new leaders, you might be, what if it's a new operation and you're doing stuff that's totally messing everything up, and they're going crazy and they're irritated with you. You want to be able to have a relationship with them where they could be like, hey, when you made us do the schedule like that yesterday, it didn't go so well. We missed 4 jobs. You want your team to be able to give you the hard conversations and give you the difficult feedback. And they're only going to be able to have that conversation with you if they feel like they have some rapport with you. And the whole buy-in piece. Okay, so change is an idea, okay, that you have in your mind, but the way it comes to life, the way it's implemented, is if people actually do it. They like literally do the action, they move the paper, they have the conversation. And you need buy-in to make that happen. But even before that, even like, you know, doubly important is that when you have rapport, you now get the feedback and the ideas so you can implement great change and growth. If you don't have rapport, that means you're not hearing things. You're not getting their inside thoughts. You're not getting their half-baked ideas. They're just giving you the corporate rhetoric, just, yeah, it's good. Okay, great. Thanks. Bye. When you have rapport, they want to pull up a chair and say, you know, I gotta tell you, have we ever thought about taking that shit and splitting it between two people? I mean, is that, I don't know, is that a crazy idea? You're never going to get any of the ideas if you don't have the people out there giving you the feedback. And all that stuff comes from when they feel they can talk to you. I'm only an effective executive coach because my clients talk to me. Like, that's the only way. So all I do all the time is I seek to build rapport with my clients. That's where the change comes from. Oh, what a great question. What's the difference between building rapport and building respect? So from the employee's point of view, when they have rapport with you, they might feel that that they're your buddy and they can just tell you all sorts of things. It's the manager's responsibility to put in boundaries around that rapport, right? So you're going to listen and go, oh, I appreciate how that's going for you. And you give them advice, but you don't then turn around and share your challenge with your boss or your coworker. The respect is going to come in through milestone actions where you are coaching them in the moment about how maybe they spoke to someone else. You're modeling behavior. You are giving them feedback in a way that makes them go, wow, I really appreciate that. Or you take a brave action. So what people want as leaders is to be able to be like, I'm the leader, you shall respect me. You're like, okay, whatever. Employees aren't going to come out outright and start like shooting the bird at you and be like, you're disrespecting me. No, it's much more subversive and worse, which is they don't believe you. They're not going to open up. They're not going to talk. They clam up. And you have nothing to base your decisions off of. So the difference between rapport and respect is it's that path through which we have open dialogue. Okay, it's the avenue. And then respect is something that the leader earns and builds through actions, and they're demonstrating that. And the wise leader knows that they have to take the time to build and get that they don't come in because they're not insecure to the point where like, you're going to respect me. You're like, okay, I respect you. But the wise leader knows inside that I'm going to gain their respect because I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I'm going to be transparent and authentic. I'm going to have integrity. And it's okay if they don't trust me at first. I'm not going to internalize and personalize that because I know I have their best interests in mind. And I'm okay if that takes time. And, if you have these moments where they flip out and they're very disrespectful, a great way to really set that balance is not by chastising, but like having a conversation. And we're going to, one of the slides, we're going to get to that. We talk about learning to understand. What are some tips on how to, let me look at that, Casey, build rapport with the group when you're, yes, Casey, when your leadership style, because I don't know if the questions get recorded. How do you build rapport when the person before you was managing these people and you are very different? Can y'all imagine getting me as a manager for the first time? My first management job was in bus operations at Walt Disney World. You might think Disney's magical. Yeah, not for bus drivers. Maybe in attractions, but I was very different from everyone they'd experienced. But that's why they hired me and brought me in, because they were like, they wanted bubbly and someone that was excited. So building rapport when you're new, that literally segues to the last bullet point on here, Casey, which is the one-on-one. So what do you do, Julie, when you're super different, okay, from the last person? Which I'm interpreting to mean that the new leader, you, okay, are a little more, you want to build rapport and you're more transparent and you're more present, less, like, I'm the boss and you're over here and this is how it goes. One-on-ones, for those of you that have been working with me, and I know Elena's nodding, Tiffany's nodding, Colleen's nodding, all y'all that know me are nodding, because one-on-ones are the key to connecting. One-on-ones are not Open door policies. One-on-ones are when you meet consistently, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You do it once a week, every 2 weeks, depending on your role. When I was a manager, I had one-on-ones every week. When I was a recruiter, I had them every 2 weeks with my boss, but for an hour. A one-on-one is when you sit down and you connect and you ask questions. You solicit feedback from them on, how's it going? What else do you need? What are some barriers that are getting in the way? What else can I do for you? What are some ideas you have in the operation? How can I be a better support system for you? Is there something that's bugging you that's getting in the way? Tell me about a success that you experienced this week. So the way that you're going to showcase what kind of leader you are is like moment by moment, okay? Interaction by interaction, and help them get that guard down. But when we talked about having the transition meeting, that's when you're going to have really clear conversations about, this is what you can expect from me, and this is what I hope I can expect from you, which is come to me with concerns, come to me with feedback, and you will show them what they expect from you by your actions. And I hope that answered your question. If it didn't, ask another one. All right, let's go to our third one. We're doing great on time. I'm watching it. Okay, there we go. Clicking it. Okay, haha, very helpful when you are a new leader. So learning really to understand where someone else is coming from, all right? This is fine when everything's normal and no big deal and we're all chilling, okay? But I'm talking about when, and we'll jump to that bottom one. I don't know if I'm hiding it with the group chat. Let's see it over here. But when someone has an issue with you, that's like that's for me, if someone doesn't like me, honestly, the last thing I want to do is be like, tell me more. That sounds great. What else about me annoys you? Oh, okay, great. I get on your nerves. Awesome. All right. Not that I've ever heard that feedback. I totally made that up on the fly. That is actually when it's the most impactful, is when somebody's got an issue about how you've done something or how you're doing it or how you're going about it. Get inside their head, understand where they're coming from. Build the skill set to ask the question, manage your ego, your temperament, so that you can very easily listen. And it just honestly takes like a couple times, maybe just one or two, as a habit of when somebody's like irritated with you, to get it down here and go, okay, I totally understand. I understand. Tell me more. What do you mean tell you more? Well, help me understand more. What's going on? Was it when I sent that email? Yeah, when you sent that email, it was like super rude, was demanding. You didn't ask if I had any time free. I didn't even realize I was doing that. When you're saying that, I hear you, and I totally get that. That was not my intention. And what can I do differently? Because I really do care. I really do understand. But what you're doing is you are getting their defenses and bringing them down. The reason that I emphasize understanding where someone else is coming from is because when people feel understood, and normally if I was doing this in person, I'd be like, how do you feel when you feel understood? And then I'd get all the feedback from the room, and you would say, validated, I feel respected, I feel like I'm at the table, I feel like an equal, I feel like I matter. Yes, all good things. All of those things are correct. When people feel understood, they really feel like they're being heard, and people feeling heard will calm down and then be able to listen to what you have to say. And also, you need to know where they're coming from. It's like playing chess or playing poker. When you understand them, they're showing you their next moves. They're showing you how they're thinking. They're showing you their cards, okay? And if I'm trying to play chess with you and I keep trying to beat you because I'm going in one direction, but your whole methodology is coming from another way, like I'm going to lose, okay? I need to understand which way you're coming from. You might be beating down the door of this one message point, but that doesn't even matter to them. But you won't even know that because you don't understand. And people don't like to understand because they feel that I'm the boss, you should automatically listen to me, or I don't want to understand because I'm probably not going to like what they have to say because it's about me. And while that might be uncomfortable, every great leader has to take their ego out of the equation. Everybody in general, whether you're a leader or not. You can't get caught up in your ego. That's going to work against you. There we go. Okay. The fourth thing you need to do is be a really, really, really good partner and peer and acknowledge the efforts of others. You might think like, Julie, come on, we're talking about one-on-ones and building rapport and gaining buy-in and giving feedback, and you're going to give attention to acknowledging the efforts of others. Like, seems kind of hokey and rainbow and sunshiny. The deal is that you need to have really good partners. You need to have other departments that like working with you. When you're a new manager, it's tricky. You don't just have the people that work for you now. You have a whole new set of peers. Like we didn't even talk about that, right? I mean, you're promoted, or you got someone that you promoted, and now they're peers of people that have been doing this for a really long time. Golly, what do I do about that? Well, a great way to build rapport with your peers is to acknowledge their efforts. Everyone will say like, oh, I don't need to be appreciated. I'm totally, how cute is that? I don't need that. Like, I don't do my job for accolades. Okay, sure, whatever. Being appreciated feels good, all right? It makes people feel like they want to do more so they can get more appreciation, whether they'll acknowledge it to themselves or not. And if you want people to be looking out for you, then you want to get them on your side. Building that relationship happens through appreciation, because it also forces you to get this really good habit of paying attention, okay? When we are paying attention, then we are very self-aware and very conscious, and we're able to notice things and say, hey, thank you so much for scheduling that book in the conference room. I didn't even think about getting that, and I really appreciate it. You're like, what? It was nothing. It was like, no big deal. I do all the time. And then they feel all good, all right? When you are the manager, you're not just responsible for your team. I mean, yeah, you're responsible for them, but you've got other people that will impact your role, other support departments, peripheral departments, and they are not separate from you, believe it or not. And as a manager, you'll start to see more and more about how different departments work together, that whether you were outside the organization or you were a direct report, you didn't see a lot of the stuff that was happening behind the scenes. And you need to have really great partners. And something that builds that avenue is by simply acknowledging it and say, I really appreciate you doing X. And you have to be very specific. Staying on time, we're doing great. Oh wait, hold on. There was one that this might be my favorite one. Okay. That's why it was number 2 and I skipped it. Ask for what you need. Here's where it gets tricky, okay? I'm spending all this time telling y'all how to be a great leader and to give and develop your team. This does not mean that when you're promoted, you will have that same type of leader. I hope you do. I hope you have a great new boss, but you might not, okay? And the only way that you're gonna get what you need from your leader is you have to freaking ask for it. And I mean literally. And that means that you have to be proud enough and take your ego out of the equation to advocate for what barriers you need removed. Your boss may not give to you what all the things I'm advocating you to give your team. And that may grow resentment from people. They may feel like, I do all of this, I don't get anything. Communicate up. If you want your boss to notice you and to appreciate you, then maybe you need to go and tell them, like, hey, just let you know that I was able to get these three things done this week on top of my schedule, and I'm just giving you an FYI. So maybe you don't have to say to them, I need you to appreciate me, but if you want them to know and they're not asking, you need to tell them. If you need to be included on meetings because you're still getting to know something, ask for it. If you need to go job shadow a department because you're confused by what they do, ask for it. If you need to get a meeting every week for 30 minutes, ask for it. If you sit around as the manager being like, I guess they're gonna train me when it shows up. I don't know. Let's see. The higher you get up in your career, the more you're responsible for yourself. The harder it is. The more people expect you to take care of your own needs, which means truly that you need to be the one who's advocating for yourself. driving that train for yourself, getting the exposure. If this means that you want to get access to a professional industry association in your city that you want to get involved in, you want to get on a committee, you want to have lunch with your CEO, whatever it is, you need to start asking for it, because now you're a manager and like, this is getting real, but you're the one that can drive this. I have lots of resources on my different social media pages. My YouTube channel, if you don't already subscribe to it or visit it regularly, I've got videos that I put out every week that are all about professional development, performance management, helping yourself. If you're active on Twitter, go ahead and give me a follow. I'd love to engage. It's a little more fun, casual, but I love building rapport with people. And then on Instagram as well. I'll be posting this video on the YouTube channel. I'll stick around for another minute. Y'all can start cycling off, or you can throw a question on here. And I really appreciate all your time. It's Friday. Have an awesome weekend. And thank y'all very much for hanging out with me this afternoon. I really appreciate it. And I'll do more of these. I need to do more of them. Bye. Thank you, Annie. You're so sweet. It was great seeing all these names. New friends, old friends. Caitlin. Oh my gosh. Caitlin worked for me at Disney many years ago. So sweet. Back when she was a college student. That's so great. Casey, thank you so much. I'm so glad you joined me. Craig, my buddy in North Louisiana. I love LinkedIn. I make so many new friends that way. Oh my God, Matthew, thank you. Yay, Florida. You're the best. Y'all are so awesome. I really appreciate it. Sincerely, very much. It's great to have such great partners. Jan, you're the best. Look at you. I know. I miss y'all too. You're so sweet. Oh, thank you. I know, right? I'm testing the Friday. I don't know if Friday is going to always be the best day, but this was my time available, so I threw it up there. Yeah, in a half an hour. It's like sometimes maybe even just 20 minutes. I'm thinking. Would y'all want to do just 20 minutes next time? Or you like 30? Want to do 20 or want to do 30? What do you think? Okay. You're like, whatever. You like, Elena's like, Fridays are good, Julie. 30 is good. That way we have time for the Q&A. I miss you. Oh, my sweet friends. Look at all y'all from all over the globe. Well, not the globe, but the country. All the way from the West Coast to just 2 miles north, Metairie. All my sweet friends. Y'all are so great. Every minute was useful, including all of my jokes. And my friend Amelia made this stuff for me. Look at me, not even self-promoting 7602, but my awesome like Couret insulated, doesn't break, and it comes with a lid, like it's a sippy cup basically. It's essentially an adult sippy cup. I'll stick around for another minute for anyone that has questions. Look at that. There's the timer for the 30 minutes. I tell you, I'm a stickler for ending on time. I really appreciate it. I'll give it just like another second. And I put this lamp on. This is out. This is without the lamp. See? It's better fully illuminated. I know. I even put makeup on for y'all. I did my eyebrows. I mean, I have blue leggings on and no shoes. All right, bye, y'all. Bye, Jan. And you.